primetime Poulton, keep it entertaining. You already knowin', outworking everybody and he don't ever quit. Talking about plenty comics like Graveyard Shift, Sea Dogs, Fighting Wolf, U.S. Assassin, doing just what he loves. This is his passion. Bring more value to your dollar. No, I'm not frontin'. That's how just a writer became a moral compass. This is primetime Poulton. This is primetime Poulton. Let's go.
What's up, guys? Happy Wednesday. It's the Moral Compass. With me, the Cowboy, Phil McNulty. So, confession time. I was sitting here waiting. I was like, man, Phil is late. He's always late. And then I realized, oh, I forgot to send you the link.
I was sitting here. I don't even have any of my textbooks out. So I don't have to be. So I'm just not sitting here working on homework. I'm like, all right, I'm here. I was sitting here at like 4:15. I'm like, just waiting for the link. I'll chill. And I saw the clock ticking. And I'm just like, oh, hopefully everything's all right. And then I get a link and I see waiting for Phil. So Hicks Villain, do not believe the comments. Believe what we just heard.
No, I confessed.
Yes.
I said I forgot to send you the link. What's up, Hicks Villain? Phil, big day today. Friend of the show, William Shatner.
Yeah.
Went to space.
They waited for 9 o'clock because they were syncing it up with Rocket Man. He has taken a joke from that 70s show and turned it into flying into space.
Yeah, you must be excited for your good friend Bill.
Yeah, Bill is going where most men have not been before. Can't really say where no man has gone before, but this is certainly, not his final frontier. Let's just hope everything goes well so Shatner doesn't have a different ring to it.
We got another Phil here. We got Phil Diaz. What's up, Phil? He's here. So before we get into wrestling, I think we're gonna have a lot of fun discussing Raw and NXT this week.
Oh, I have some things to say about NXT this week.
Yeah, I bet you do. It's at least people are talking about NXT. But first, I'd like to share U.S. Assassin. Only 6 days left in this campaign, Phil. Can you believe it? It seems like just yesterday we launched this book.
I know, exciting.
Yeah, we're over 32,000, and I'm hoping at 35,000 everyone gets a Sensei Steel trading card, but I'm hoping we can get to 40,000, and I have to come up with another stretch goal to give backers. But recently I added a new tier called the Vault, and that is first printings of all the books that you will need to enjoy U.S. Assassin 3. Now, you don't really you can read U.S. Assassin 3 without picking up the other books, but if you had Graveyard Shift Volumes 1 and 2, Sea Dog 1 and 2, and Viking Wolf 1, yeah, you would just have the full experience, because I'm not giving away spoilers, but these other books might come into play in this volume of U.S. Assassin. So you could jump in on the ground floor of, as far as I'm concerned, the world's greatest comic book universe, and get first printings of all these books for $300.
And I was just about to say, for the price tag, if you go on eBay alone and check out the first printing value of Graveyard Shift 1 and Graveyard Shift 2, the deal's already done for you. So You might as well get everything else, get caught up.
Thanks, Phil. Yeah, so there's nine left. I limited it to 10. So definitely check it out. Mike and I will be doing a lot of appearances on other people's shows in the last few days. So stay tuned. We'll be making the rounds.
I'm expecting that number to jump to the 40.
Totally. I'm hoping, man. This campaign has taken me completely by surprise. I didn't really know what to expect. I mean,
Mhm.
I went it all in. I wanted it to do well, but the last U.S. Assassin did 12,000 after 60 days, which I was very happy about. You know, people forget $12,000 a lot of money.
And a lot of backers too.
Yeah, I remember those lean Kickstarter years back in the day when I was like making 1,500 on a crowdfunder.
You're like, yes, 1,500. I can print it.
Yeah,
And now,
absolutely.
and now you're like, wait a second. At this amount of money, I can give more perks. I can give out some more free stuff. So it's really cool.
Yeah, no, it's an exciting time to be making comics. That's why I'm excited for you, Phil, with Revengers coming up.
Thank you. Yep. Putting those finishing touches up, getting ready to rock and roll for volume 2 as well. So things are looking good.
So before we get into WWE, GCW is making a lot of noise.
Mhm.
They just had an event that you and I should have been at, Phil.
But
But
Dexter Weeks will put them on blast right now.
yeah, this is called getting dexed. I've been dexed numerous times. I
I've experienced my first Dexing right now.
he talks a big game. I was like, oh yeah, I'd be interested in going. I throw out the invite to go to GCW Fight Club in Atlantic City. Main event: Nick Gage versus John Moxley for the GCW World Title, and he doesn't even respond.
Did he leave us on red?
Yeah, I have no idea. Never again will he get get an invite to GCW. But we missed out on a great show. Matt Cardona won back his internet title from Effie, and then the main event in a shocker, as far as I'm concerned, Moxley retained the GCW title over Nick Gage.
Yeah, I think Moxley's at the point where he's basically like, F it, he'll wrestle anywhere at any time at any place. Man, does this not give you classic ECW vibes?
So the big announcement is they're doing a show at the Hammerstein Ballroom in January, and they released a video, and I sent you a link to the video. This video gave me chills. It was just like, I don't know. This captures the same energy as I was in on ground floor of ECW. Dex and I used to go to the ECW arena. Rob Van Dam pushed me off the bleachers once. But yeah.
Would you have called that move a frog splat?
Yeah, absolutely. But that video is fantastic. It's the same thing. The ECW, they always refer to those guys as the island of misfit toys that Heyman made into superstars. That's what they're doing with GCW cast-offs, like Matt Cardona, perfect example. Never was told he was never going to be a top guy in WWE. One of the most talked about wrestlers now in the indie community. You got someone like Chris Dickinson, who's been around in the indies forever, finally starting to get noticed in GCW. Joey Janela, who got the big call to AEW and sort of floundering, but in GCW, he's still a big star.
It's really interesting to see, especially with Matt Cardona. I was thinking about this today. He seems like such a smaller star on Impact as compared to outside of Impact. People would say he's like the hottest free agent.
Yeah.
But you watch him on Impact, and it's just sort of very almost Zack Ryder-ish. It's not the Matt Cardona, that we've grown to really appreciate and respect.
Yeah, no, he was the most talked about wrestler when he beat Nick Gage for the GCW title. They should have put Cardona versus Omega for the Impact title and put that GCW title on the line too. Cardona could have been the guy who beat Omega instead of Christian on someone else's TV show.
And it would have been such a good little bump for Impact, and we wouldn't have had to see Omega get pinned on AEW television, and they could still say he's undefeated on AEW television. Like, they could have plugged that undefeated thing. I don't know what Impact has been doing. Last week's episode was really good. this week's episode, we'll find out. But like, man, it's Impact is so up and down, and it's that consistency that I think we really enjoyed and we really craved past Slammiversary now 2 years ago.
Yeah.
But man, it just feels like they're floundering because they don't know what to do.
At this point, I would say GCW is the number 3 company in the U.S.
Agreed.
Yeah. Hicks Villain says Mox's back was torn apart at the end. Oh yeah, his back was all bloody at the end of that match with Nick Gage. All right, let's dive into WWE. Starts off the same way Raw always starts off. Someone comes out to talk. They're interrupted. This week's Raw was almost out of the mid 2000 SmackDown playbook. 2 guys, 2 baby faces get into an argument. 2 heels come out to interrupt them, and then Teddy Long comes out and makes a tag team match. And this is what we got this week with Drew McIntyre, Big E, and the Usos. So main event is set: Usos versus Big E and Drew McIntyre.
Can we talk about? We just had a draft. Can we respect the final? The final
doesn't take effect till the 22nd, Phil.
Yeah, but still, that's why McIntyre's still on Raw. Like, the Usos should be on SmackDown, and let's just at least respect it for a little. But even WWE doesn't even know what the hell they're doing 90% of the time. So, and isn't Big E supposed to face McIntyre, Crown Jewel?
Yep.
So here we go again.
So the thing is, they always do this draft in October, and then the following month anyway they have a Survivor Series where it's brand supremacy. So they're already putting the 2 brands interacting. You've
been on this brand for a month, but you know what your greatest inspiration is? Brand supremacy. Well, it doesn't make sense.
So after this segment, we then go to our first match, King of the Ring qualifier, Xavier Woods versus Ricochet. Ricochet's got to be counting the days till his contract ends.
Remember that match that him and Will Ospreay had, and how it broke the internet at the time, and they said, "You gotta watch this match." I watched it saying, "What the hell did I just watch?"
Yeah, no, I showed it to my wife and my son, and they don't like wrestling, and they were blown away.
And now we have him just losing all the time.
Yeah, and you know what's a shame? King Ricochet has a nice ring to it.
This don't talk, and I'm glad Xavier. Don't get me wrong. I'm glad Xavier Woods moving on, because it really made me say, imagine a New Day getting into the finals. Imagine having to have Kofi versus Xavier. What a great story. All the video package you can do. You can have Xavier be like, you were champion, Big E's champion. I haven't even gotten a singles title run. This is my chance, Kofi, and I will be damned. You may be my best friend, but I'll be damned if you let me take it away for it. I would have tuned in on Monday night to see that match.
The story's right there, Phil.
They just dropped the ball. I've never seen a company drop the ball so many times, and I'm trying to think, this is over a decade now. Like, has it really been that bad? Has AEW really made us realize, like, we knew WWE was bad, but we didn't know they were this bad for so long, without AEW.
Yeah, I mean, a storyline that seems like a layup.
They don't do layups. They're like Ben Simmons. They have an open dunk and they pass it to a guy who's not open.
Yeah, so Xavier Woods gets the win. He moves on in the King of the Ring tournament. Backstage, we got Randy Orton with Riddle. He's no longer Matt Riddle. He's just Riddle now. I think I missed this. But he's inspired by Randy Orton outsmarting AJ and Omos. So he's challenged Omos to a match. And I guess he's hoping Randy's going to bail him out. we'll see how that plays out, Phil.
You know, Matt Riddle is such a legit badass. Like he's so. I mean, all the weed makes him super calm and chill, and like a bro, someone you'd like to have. Someone like you'd have to have like drinks with, hang out with, but you would not want to throw hands with this guy because he would like kick you in the throat. And they don't play that up. They just say, you know what? This is it. This is your gimmick. He has a Rob Van Dam quality about him, and they're just not letting him express it. And it's just so frustrating.
Yeah. Hicks Villain says Xavier as King is close to becoming champion as he'll get.
Right.
All right. Next up, big tag team match. You got Mansoor and Mustafa Ali versus Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin. Shelton and Cedric, they get the win, and then we get the breakup of Mustafa Ali and Mansoor.
This sets up the Mansoor Crown Jewel annual match. Mansoor will get his annual win, and then we'll see if the feud lives on SmackDown because they were just drafted as a team together.
the dude's over like Rover in Saudi Arabia.
Oh, no. No one is more over than Mon. Remember that battle royal from a few years? That was the same time like Undertaker almost died. Goldberg and Undertaker almost killed each other. It was the worst match I've ever seen. But man, that Mansoor victory had me roaring and rolling off the floor. I just can't wait to see. My favorite part of Crown Jewel is the Mansoor match.
Hicks Villain says Mansoor could defeat Lesnar over there. Hey man, the Prince picks these matches, I believe. Yeah. We're gonna get it one day. we're gonna get the main event, Mansoor versus Lesnar.
just think about the words you uttered. The Prince picks these matches. Do you know the Prince asked for a match between Bryan Danielson and CM Punk, not realizing that they were on AEW, but he knew they were back in wrestling? That's how hilarious this is.
Well, didn't he ask for a wrestler that was deceased 1 year?
Yeah.
They should have gave him that match. All right, so we can't have King of the Ring without the Queen's Crown tournament, Phil. We're in 2021. It's about time the women got a tournament. And Phil, this is another layup on who should win this. Will they get this right?
No, they won't get it right.
So we're gonna have Queen Dewdrop.
Yeah, we are. We are. Be prepared. Be prepared.
All right, so first round matchup: Shayna Baszler, who should be the Queen of Spades, versus Dana Brooke. Shayna Baszler's been on a tear lately. She gets the win. No comment.
Shayna Baszler's amazing. I love Shayna Baszler. To be, the Queen of Spades wears the Queen's crown. It writes itself. It's right there, right? Don't have to. Perfect shirt. Queen of Spades, right? The spade has a crown on there. Perfect. The fact that we get Dewdrop
going with Carmella all the way
with her Phantom of the Opera gimmick she's got going on. Shayna Baszler is a layup to get this, and we know she's going to lose the Dewdrop. We just know. The fact that the woman was a lackey for Eva Marie we're supposed to believe. It just boggles my mind. The whole WWE as a whole.
I'm amazed Charlotte's not, even though she's champion, she's not in this tournament. She's the queen,
That's what's going to happen. That's how we know Dewdrop's is going to win, because it's going to lead to a match at Bragging Rights or Survivor Series or however they want to dub it. It's going to be the Queen versus the Queen's Crown. And it's going to be Charlotte versus Dewdrop. And Charlotte's going to make her umpteenth heel turn. And you know who's going to lose that match? All of us watching it.
All right. So Shayna Baszler moves on. Next up, we get Matt Riddle. I'm still calling him Matt Riddle. I don't care.
Yeah.
Versus Omos. And he keeps waiting for his buddy Randy Orton to come out. But Omos kicks his ass. And then after the match, then when AJ's in the ring bragging, then Randy Orton sneaks in and hits the RKO on AJ. And Riddle's like happy about this.
First of all, Omos and Riddle aren't even in the same league, ability wise. I was just like, all right, yeah, he's taller, but he ain't gonna kick this guy's ass. Matt Riddle's gonna win this. No, forgot Vince's new plaything is Omos. But better question, Mark. When do you trust Randy Orton?
Never. He's a rattlesnake.
You
He's a viper.
Exactly. So I don't know. I knew he wasn't coming out. Didn't you know he was not coming out? I saw this with Legacy, and I saw this with Evolution. You just don't trust Randy Orton.
Well, I mean, Riddle may have been smoking something when he came up with this master plan.
You know what the funniest thing I've seen Matt Riddle do was when he forgot his line talking to Asuka and he just scooted away. That's how I feel. That's how I feel. RK Bro went from pulling on up, hitting a great promo to just scooting away.
All right, we get another segment with Big E and Drew. They're still not on the same page. Will they be on the same page by the time of the big main event? We'll have to find out. We get more Lashley promo. His big match with Goldberg. He invited Goldberg's son to witness this. Does anyone care, Phil?
The better. So is this match taking place at Crown Jewel? It's Lashley versus Goldberg, right?
Yep.
How Goldberg's undefeated besides the Undertaker, right? That's his only loss at Crown Jewel.
Yeah, I believe so.
Do you think that Prince even knows who Bobby Lashley is?
No.
That'll tell you all about this storyline.
Goldberg's gonna avenge his kid, man.
And then his kid's gonna run in and take his stupid shirt off like he did at the first Crown Jewel. And we're all and who's gonna be the loser of this match, Mark?
Everyone. The fans.
Yes, right. Yeah. All of us watching.
I want his kid to hit a spear on Cedric Alexander.
Oh God, it's setting up the Hook Goldberg Jr. match.
Can't wait. We're booking WrestleMania 2031.
We've opened the forbidden door.
All right. Jeff Hardy versus Austin Theory. I like what they're doing with Austin Theory. We get a 24/7 run-in during this, but Austin Theory gets the victory. You know what? It's okay to beat Jeff Hardy because he's going to SmackDown, and you just a couple wins the fans forget. You put him in a program with Roman Reigns, and he's a credible world title contender.
Here we go. Poor Jeff Hardy. I don't know if this was a rib or whatnot because we all gave the WWE some flack when we're like, what the hell is Jeff Hardy doing in the 24/7 picture? And now the 24/7 picture costs him this match against Austin Theory. He just needs to go back to SmackDown and get rebuilt like early 2000s Jeff Hardy. We need, at least give him one final, he's content just losing, but when he really gets serious, those are my favorite Jeff Hardy matches. His feud with Sheamus a few years ago that happened at the bar fight, that was one of the best things WWE put on their program in such a long time. I love serious Jeff Hardy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can take Jeff Hardy out of the 24/7 title hunt, but this 24/7 title hunt can't be taken out of Jeff Hardy.
If Jeff Hardy's going to be in that Crown Jewel running around for that title.
I have a feeling Jeff Hardy's going to SmackDown, and we are going to see the WWE debut of Willow.
Will-o'-the-wisp.
See, he'll go to 24. He'll go to SmackDown, and Roman will like crush him, and he'll go away, and he'll come back as Willow, and he'll drive Roman crazy for a couple weeks.
You know, Jeff Hardy. I can't believe I'm about to say this. Jeff Hardy is C-rate Matt Hardy. Do you ever believe that? Like, I never believed I would say that back in 2001, 2002, throwing up the Hardy Boy signs, trying to get my black cargo jeans. And
I'll tell you what, this current version of Matt Hardy is C-rate Matt Hardy.
Right. That's so now we just need Jeff just to get a little bit serious. That's all. That's how you recover it. But I do like what they're doing with Austin Theory. Good foresight by whoever is booking him.
Phil Diaz wants to know, will Jeff and Matt be reunited?
Probably, but not anytime soon. Probably when Jeff is ready to retire.
Hicks Villain says Jeff needs to bring back his TNA heel gimmick well before the Sting match. Yeah, I loved heel Jeff Hardy over in TNA. I enjoyed his heel work. Phil Diaz says, bring back Awoken Matt Hardy. Dude, man, I was all on board Big Money Matt, but this whole Hardy family office is terrible. They surrounded him with a bunch of jobbers.
Except for Private Party. When it was Hardy Party, and then then they turned heel as a way to make more money. It was perfect. You know, greed overtook the party aspect. They became more inclusive. That was fantastic. But then they added Butcher and the Blade and the Bunny, and we're like, these losers?
And then it just kept getting worse. Then you got the Hybrid, and then you got this new guy. Oh, I can't even remember his name. Dupa, something like that.
Yeah.
So, and he's feuding with Orange Cassidy, so this stink is getting all over Orange Cassidy.
Yeah, the AEW has hit a little bit of a lull right now, and I think hopefully last week's episode was a shot in the arm because Hangman Page returned, and man, was he a sight for sore eyes.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you have to get back to WWE King of the Ring match qualifier. Jinder Mahal versus Kofi Kingston. If Kofi wins this, we have this perfect story that just falls right into our lap, Phil. But guess who wins?
It's always Jinder Mahal. Jinder Mahal.
Could we get King Jinder?
A Kingder.
King Jinder in Saudi Arabia. Because this is where the finals are taking place.
Oh, geez. So it's not coming from anyone from the Raw side. I don't think, you know what, King Jinder. Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right. Who from the SmackDown side would the Prince want to win?
Man, I don't even know.
Right.
Yeah.
Man, thanks for spoiling it, Mark.
All right. Main event time, Phil. We got Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch teaming up versus Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks. None of these women like each other.
Can they coexist?
This oh wait, this isn't the main event. This is I have that confused with the other tag team match where they don't like each other.
Yeah, can they coexist?
Yeah. So this match gets thrown out, and then Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville come out, and they're like, "No, we're going to have this match." And it still ends in disqualification.
You know, Sonya Deville is getting back in the ring soon to sort of. So I'm excited for her. I think she's done great work. Hopefully she's passed all the traumatic experience she's had because she's dynamite in the ring.
Yeah, no, she has that feud with Naomi, which actually one of the more interesting women's storylines.
Right. SmackDown just does a great job overall. They know where they're going. It's very well paced. It doesn't even feel like Vince McMahon knows what's going on SmackDown.
They should have just in this match had Sasha turn on Bianca Belair and start putting the horsewomen together.
Right.
Let them have all the titles. Get Bayley and Sasha the tag titles, and they just go from brand to brand, running both brands.
They could do it almost like the New Day did it, and be like, "We're a stable, so we're all champions." Like I remember Jericho was great because Jericho purposely tag teamed with the Big Show just so he could be on both shows. Right?
Yeah.
That's if the horsewomen do that, that would be hilarious and it would be great and super entertaining because I never thought I'd be saying this, but the WWE's women division is so poorly booked and it's lacking for new stars that you're going to need the horsewomen to carry it on both brands.
Yeah, we're going to talk about a new female star when we get to NXT. So after this match, we get a Queen's Crown tournament match. Our girl Dewdrop taking on Natty. Natty has got to be furious, Phil. Like she may be the one woman that WWE like just takes a giant dump on constantly. Do you remember when they gave her the farting gimmick?
Yes, I do. I do. And I don't know if it's because they're almost making her like the reverse X-Pac. Like Sean Waltman was always feuding with somebody, you know, why? Because he's really good at carrying a match. With Dewdrop, she's not as experienced, you know, as most of the women on the roster. She's still probably learning her way for the WWE style that, you know, Natalya is just there to make Dewdrop look good.
Farting. Yes. Man, how long ago was this? Maybe
about
12 years ago?
Yeah. Yeah.
Natty would just like pass gas by accident, like in embarrassing moments. That was her gimmick at the time. And this poor girl who is the best female wrestler in the company, it has to put up with this. Hicksville and Natty was smacking Dewdrop around. She's had enough.
Did you know Natty's a heart?
I did, but the WWE, they don't treat her like she's a heart. They don't treat her like she's royalty.
I remember they used to have her say that's what I thought her gimmick. I am a heart. I am a heart. Now she's probably just like, please don't bring up my last name. I can't even tarnish it.
I know a company that respects the heart name.
Yeah. Maybe the first person to ever hold up the title.
There you go. So Dewdrop, she's Destiny is calling her. She gets the win. Mm-hmm. She's going for the crown, Phil. Queen Dewdrop.
It's gonna be Dewdrop versus Carmella, and we're gonna get a whole bunch of unnecessary fat jokes, a whole bunch of unnecessary, slights on her weight. Vince McMahon's gonna find it hilarious. And it's gonna mean Dewdrop will probably win. I think they'll give it to a face, and then we'll have to continue dealing with the fat slights. And it's just the way it is. And all this time, Shayna Baszler could have gotten new merch and really elevated her stock to the main event female that she should be.
Phil, I'm not going to write them off. I feel like this is a layup that even the WWE can make. They have to. This whole tournament has to be for Baszler. It just makes sense. I couldn't fathom anything else. I'm going to be disappointed, aren't I?
Yeah, you are.
Oh, okay.
Do you really think the Prince probably sees Dewdrop and probably sees Carmella and was just like, yes.
All right. Main event time. Drew and Big E versus the Usos. Winners by count out, the Usos. Drew and Big E, they can't just get along. They're fighting outside the ring. Drew had a big knot on his head. Did you see that?
I did. Sometimes when I watch it, I'll be doing something else and I'll be like lifting up. And then I was like, wait a second. What does that mofo have on his head?
Yeah, no, that thing was talking to me.
Yeah.
That thing was so big. Drew's not winning the world title, is he?
No, he's not.
No.
Not
They do these little teases at draft time.
Mm-hmm.
He could win the belt and not go over to SmackDown or take the belt to SmackDown, whatever. They change the rules all the time. Do you remember the year Edge was going to take the title to SmackDown and Raw wasn't going to have a champion, and then CM Punk cashed in?
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah. So that does it for WWE Raw. Overall, Phil, on a scale of 1 to 10, how painful was this for you?
Oh, probably about a 7.5.
Will it be as painful as the next show we're about to review?
Probably a little bit more. Probably a little bit more painful than the next show.
The next show is only 2 hours, so
that's why it's a little. The next show had. I will say this: there were some highlights to NXT where I only felt like I was getting more disappointed as Raw. NXT left a better taste in my mouth than I will say Raw, and that's what makes Raw more painful.
All right, time to talk NXT. We start off hot. Hit Row. They show up to the arena, and they get jumped. They get jumped by Santos Escobar, and do they drive away with all of Swerve's? They kidnapped Swerve's whole crew, right?
Yeah, and I mean, by that time, because we knew Swerve and the whole crew is going over on SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
So we know, okay, so get rid of his faction, so he'll lose the belt, and then no one could come out and save him. So I was expecting, when they announced that match, I was expecting Swerve to lose it the first time.
Yeah. NXT security, terrible.
Terrible. Everybody's getting jumped in that parking lot. Balor, Joe.
So
Kenta.
we get a hot opening, and then it even gets hotter because I'm eating crow because this guy is now, forget Braun Breaker. I'm on the Joe Gacy bandwagon. He gets his match against Tommaso Ciampa, and I thought he was going to win and work his way into this title shot, but he wins even in losing because I think he had the moment of the show. After he loses, Harland comes out of the crowd and attacks Ciampa. He attacks Joe Gacy, but then Joe Gacy just like I don't even know how to describe
caresses him with his simple love.
Yeah. and Harland, it just runs off.
I was so confused. I watching the match. First of all, I didn't realize how small Joe Gacy was. Like, was standing next to Ciampa, I didn't realize how small of a dude, Gacy was. I'm just like, oh, he's like mini Kevin Owens.
What I was going to say about Joe Gacy is I feel like he seems like he's getting in better shape every week because his arms looked way bigger than his first appearance and his waist looked smaller. He looks like he's getting in pretty good shape. Yeah,
and I think he's got a good gimmick, but man, I thought Harland was going to be. I thought this was going to be great. We got a nice heater. He becomes part of his cult or whatnot. I did not. And when he attacked Gacy, I was like, this is perfect because now Gunner's getting in there. And now we can even expand this championship match even further. And then I was just lost.
Yeah, no, Gacy caressed Harland's cheek, and Harland freaked out. It was almost like a throwback to last week's Best Friend show when I talked about that guy exposing himself to me, and I took off running. That's what Harland did.
He was exposed to Gacy's gimmick.
Yeah. So
just like you were exposed to that neighbor's gimmick.
Yeah. So NXT off to a memorable start, at least. Next up, we get Toxic Attraction. I'm over Toxic Attraction, man. I don't believe there's no way in the world Mandy Rose is hanging out with these women.
You know what? I would like to take off my hat for a moment and just do. Can we please bury the line, the baddest bitch on the block? It has been said multiple times through multiple shows, through multiple wrestlers, throughout multiple years. I'm done with it. I don't care for it. Mandy Rose, I don't care for you. I don't care for your cronies. This is just terrible.
Hicks Villain says Harlan's weakness is a tender touch. Yeah, seems to be. So they cut a promo, and then Zion Quinn makes his entrance to send us to break. He wrestles Malik Blade. So at first I thought it was Malik Black, and I thought they were just making fun of Malachi Black, but no, his name was Malik Blade versus Zion Quinn. Zion Quinn looks like little Roman Reigns. I don't know. He seems like, there's a lot of guys that we were in 2.0 that we were ragging on. He seems like he could be something.
Really? I felt like he was the Goldberg version of Roman. I didn't care for any of these guys in the ring. They don't make me care, and that may not be on their part. I'll never put, when it comes to WWE, I'll never say it's the talent's fault, right?
I think one thing is evident about NXT 2.0. This is definitely a developmental league. Do you remember when NXT was selling out arenas and the crowds were hot and Takeover was blowing away the main roster pay-per-views?
Remember We Are NXT? Remember, like, Triple H did an invasion on Raw and SmackDown? It was one of the most talked about things in professional wrestling. And now, I don't even know what poor Hunter's feeling. I know we're wishing him well and a speedy recovery, but he's got to be like, what did they do to my son?
He's putting together that resume. Paul's going to be all elite.
He's like, wait a second, Fish and Cole are over there?
Hicks Villain says it's weird when wrestlers that have nothing to do with each other awkwardly pass each other going to the ring. Yeah, absolutely.
But that's been a WWE trope for years. Remember that I think it was about what, 15, maybe 15, 16 years ago that they started that.
Yeah.
And then we were all confused as to why they were doing it. And we all thought, oh my God, they're going to attack each other, sets up a new feud. Well, it hasn't happened within the last 16 years. It's happened never.
Yeah. Phil, do you think we'll get NXT 2.0 Takeover in a bigger sold-out arena?
No, they're not leaving Full Sail. NXT, the golden age of NXT, as we know it, is dead, buried, and gone.
Yep. Rest in peace. Next up, I love Diamond Mine. We get the in-ring debut of Ivy Nile versus Valentina Feroz. Ivy Nile, man, I think she looks like she could be someone.
Diamond Mine is awesome. They look so good together. Stokely Hathaway is amazing. He's just him going like this as those strobe lights are hitting her, and she looks like a star, and they're all behind her. This was probably my favorite part of WWE television this week. They are so good, and they make new stars all the time.
Who would have thought Roddy Strong would be in a better spot than Kyle O'Reilly?
Kyle O'Reilly, he's another one he has his calendar, and he's just like, wait a second, what about Owens? Is my deal up sooner like his?
Yeah. All right. Then we get after the match, we sort of get this makeshift match between Ikemen Jiro versus Julius Creed from Diamond Mine, and Creed gets the victory, which is kind of weird. The way it was set up, you almost thought Jiro would have gotten the win, But no, he just got crushed too. So Diamond Mine getting a nice push.
Yeah, they are going to be carrying the brand for a little bit, and then I feel unfortunately, I feel like they'll be the sanity of this incarnation of NXT.
Ooh.
They'll be really loved,
Mhm.
really great on NXT. Fans will come and see them. They'll be great, and then when they get to the main roster, they just won't know what to do with them. They'll leave Ivy home like they left Nikki home, and it just will kill the whole thing.
Next up, we were just talking about Kyle O'Reilly. He's teaming up with Von Wagner, his protector, against Pete Dunne and Ridge Holland. Man, this Von Wagner guy, he is. They love him. Vince loves this guy, but man, I don't know. He just looks like, I don't know. He looks like I hate to say it, but he looks like a Neanderthal.
Did any one of these guys stand out in particular to you?
I mean, Von Wagner stuck out because he's so different looking.
Isn't he the only one that did stick out?
Yeah.
Like, Holland is just going to flounder on the main roster. Kyle O'Reilly is having a bit of an image crisis. One week he comes out looking like Orange Cassidy. The next week he can't figure out what the hell he's doing. Like, they just have nothing for these guys, and they're just like, oh, you remember this guy, and this guy's going to be on the main roster.
Hicks villain, Von Wagner is real life Encino Man.
All right, here we go. Nick Camarado or Von Wagner?
I say team them up and send them to Japan. they're the new Hanson and Brody.
Encino Man.
I love it. All right, so O'Reilly and Wagner get the win by pinfall with a butterfly slam from Wagner on Ridge Holland. Ridge Holland gets shown the door by taking the loss. Good luck on SmackDown, Ridge. We hardly knew you.
He total jobber, right? They're not going to make him into anything.
Yeah, I don't know.
I feel like I feel like we should timestamp that when Ridge Holland is Intercontinental Champion, and I'll be like, wow.
I see him just like walking around the SmackDown backstage, sort of like this Tony D'Angelo guy. I'm sorry I mentioned his name. We'll call him Tony Baloney because his gimmick is the worst. Hicks villain, you can rest your drink on Wagner's brow.
Man, I don't care. I want to see more Von Wagner. He's very entertaining. I'm thoroughly sports entertained.
We get a Chase University vignette. Does anyone care about this, Phil?
No.
Yeah.
Nobody cares.
This man is no Dean Douglas. He's not even a Matt Striker. He's the Great Value brand Matt Striker doing the teacher gimmick. Speak of the devil, Tony Baloney gets a promo. He's trying to get on Lash LaRusa or Lash Legends show, and she doesn't want him either.
Nobody wants this guy. Take a hint.
Oh man, this Lash Legend. They tried this talk show gimmick before. Do you remember who was it? What was this guy's name? Something Washington.
Oh yeah. I think Abraham
Washington.
Abraham.
Yeah, and he managed primetime players and then said something offensive and got fired.
Said something about Kobe.
Yeah. Yeah, so good luck with Lash Legend.
And then they tried to give it to Leo Rush, remember?
Yeah.
With Lashley.
Oh, speak of the devil, Leo Rush. He was at GCW. They made a big deal about him being there, and then he lost a three-way match. But he looked fantastic. Next up, Duke Hudson versus Grayson Waller. This is like, so one guy's gimmick is he's a poker player, and the other one's gimmick is he is, I can't even remember. But It's so unforgettable. Are
We're
we at the? Are we at this? Are we back to the '90s where everyone had occupations?
I was just about to say we are at Isaac Yankem territory now with WWE. Like
The Goon,
we
TL Plumber, Plopper, whatever.
we have think about it. We have a motivational speaker. We have a poker player, right? You can start counting the professions on the show now.
Oh yeah, the other guy was a boxer. So we got a poker player and a boxer fighting each other. And Duke Hudson wins. I'm not sure if he's the poker player or the boxer because these two guys are pretty much interchangeable.
So, man, NXT is God. It's so bad. Like, and it's no fault of their own. It's just this is what happens when you say, "All right, we're making this a third brand," and you actually get people on there who you want to see, and then they break it down to developmental. It's just no good anymore, Mark. And it's a sad day. And they just really did cave into AEW.
Why hasn't Braun Breaker been in the ring? Like he's just been backstage. This guy's how excited were we for Braun Breaker's debut? He took the whole wrestling world by storm, and now we just get him in little pieces.
He should be on every segment of the show. Or every other segment on the show. He should be. Remember The Rock? You coming up. He may not even been the opening promo, but he's showing up in a limo, right? Saying, "All right, later today, The Rock, like later tonight, The Rock speaks." Right? We get a promo from The Rock with Lillian Garcia, right? Then you cut to somebody else. They would cut the DX and be like, "Damn it, The Rock, he's always doing that." Then The Rock would come out to do a promo, right? Another promo which would set up a match. Then the main event involved The Rock. You knew who the star was. Braun Breaker is your star for NXT. He's unbelievable on the mic. He could be the best speaker in all of WWE. That's how good he is. So young, athletic to the nines. He's got a look. He's got a presence about him. And he's just like, we only get him for like 30 seconds an episode. I don't understand it.
Yeah, he could have been walking around the parking lot that opening segment and stopped the the attack on Hit Row.
Right. Or he jumped in and helped out.
Yeah.
Right. And they couldn't get everybody. But at least he was just like, "Oh, don't mess with Breaker. He's here to F shit up."
Phil Diaz says, "I feel like it's WWE's response to the actual good gimmicks that AEW have. I feel like for so long, a lot of guys at WWE didn't have gimmicks. No, we had a whole phase where people were just these made up real names like
Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
I still it wasn't until years later that Seth Rollins, had a gimmick. But a lot of these guys, they just get random names put on there. You don't know.
Yeah. What's funny is Joe Gacy got to keep his indie name.
Mm-hmm. They probably, you know what it is? They probably felt like this guy, and then he just turned chicken shit into chicken salad.
Yep. Next up, we got Amari Miller and Saray versus Indy Hartwell and Persia Parada. Indian Persia, no surprise there. They get the victory. I find this so weird that Indy gets married. They do this whole thing with the way, and then just Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae are off TV, and there's no mention of them.
There was not one mention on commentary about her being married to Dexter Lumis. Like, and that's what I was waiting for. And I even rewound it to listen again for it, and I didn't hear it. It seems like that was a goodbye to the old NXT. Like, this was our last storyline, and now we're just going to move on from it. It's very weird.
Yeah, a lot of questions in this episode, Phil. All right, main event time. Isaiah Swerve Scott the North American champion, who is on his way to SmackDown, is defending against Santos Escobar. Everyone just assumed Santos Escobar was going to win this. Phil, I believe you even said you thought it made sense he was going to win it, right?
And I would have preferred him win it. I thought it was a really good match. It actually made me excited for Swerve on the main roster. Like, he does some really cool things in the ring.
Yeah.
I love his gimmick. Like, I think he plays this like arrogant, too cool for school heel better than a lot of people have, and he just looks it. Like, he looks like if you can have a okay gimmick, but if you have a look to you, you can carry that gimmick to places. So I was really excited for Swerve actually during this match.
So towards the end of the match, Escobar's flunkies, DJZ and the other guy, they come out, and it looks like Escobar's going to win, but no, Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes come out and help Swerve, and he gets the victory. And everyone's happy, but then Carmelo Hayes says, "No, I'm cashing in my NXT breakout, whatever contract or whatever."
This was not a thing up until the moment it happened, wasn't it?
That's what it seems like.
It felt like, how can we really swerve? Like, that's what it felt like. And then they should have just had him win it again. That would have been better off that way. But alas.
So Carmelo Hayes, your new North American champion.
Well, good luck to you, Mello.
I will say Trick Williams, great name.
Oh, excellent name. Excellent name.
So that does it for NXT. Phil, we kind of dumped on NXT. Let's talk about the good things in NXT.
Okay.
We got Braun Breaker.
Right.
We need more of him.
Mm-hmm.
Tommaso Ciampa, great champion.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Gacy, very entertaining.
Right.
Harlan looks like he could be something.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else after that?
Diamond Mine is absolutely awesome.
There's 5 guys we could make a show around.
Right. And you don't have to, all these in-between matches, all these random guys who are coming in, you can have one of those a match, maybe one of them sticks, right? But you can have those 5 guys. If you're telling me you can't have those 5 acts fill up 2 hours, then you're insane.
Yeah.
Braun Breaker could fill up an hour himself just by putting thought into it. They don't write it like an episode anymore. They don't say, here's our beginning, here's our middle, here's our end. How are we going to get there? It's just throwing guys.
There's other guys there that at one point people were interested in. Kyle O'Reilly, Pete Dunne, Von Wagner's interesting looking.
Right.
You could make a show out of this.
Right.
But the show they were making is terrible.
Tell me this wouldn't be an awesome feud. Pete Dunne versus Von Wagner in matches where they just beat the living hell out of each other. I don't care if you recycle the Cesaro Sheamus storyline. I love the fact that they were beating the crap out of each other and they then became the Bar. And they were a dominant tag team. Do the same thing with these 2 dudes, because both of them have looks. Both of them are just awesome looking ass kickers. Like, you could really go with that. And Pete Dunne's really good on the mic.
Yeah. No, I could see it. You could do Braun Breaker's winning that NXT title.
Right.
But Joe Casey being the mouthpiece for Harland. You have a big monster for Braun Breaker as his first challenge.
Right. And he has to overcome Gacy. It could just be like Gacy's monster. And you're just like, okay.
The thing is, I'm really surprised Harlan's even on TV, because it seems like he had no pro wrestling experience, and they were just announcing him as a signee to the camp. And now he's on TV, which is crazy.
Gable Stevenson.
I was just going to say that. Drafted to Raw.
Drafted to Raw.
When do we see Gable Stevenson? Next year?
We never see him.
Never.
We never. I will put it down right now. Typical WWE to be like, you know what? We need to make the news because AEW is signing all these guys. Let's make a mainstream move. Who was the guy that came in with Rey Mysterio? He had the real short arms. He was a famous fighter. He fought Lesnar.
Cain Velasquez.
Yeah, Cain. Yeah, that was one of the that's something so weird. I will not forget. Just for him to wrestle one match, less than a minute.
Yep.
So that's what Gable Stevenson will be. He'll be the Cain Velasquez of the draft.
I hope not. That announcement that he got drafting. I don't know. People say he's the best athlete WWE's signed since Kurt Angle.
Yeah, let's hope he has more of a Kurt Angle career than a Cain Velasquez career.
Fingers crossed. Man, so that does it. A full hour ripping on WWE. This is fun. We decided to start watching WWE again.
Listen, there's only so much ass we can kiss for AEW and Impact. I love, you know what? It's almost like pain watching. Like, I am entertained by. If they have to make me miserable, I might as well entertain myself while being miserable. And this podcast has made me enjoy watching WWE again. So kudos.
Yeah. So Phil, before we wrap this up, where can people find you at?
Instagram and Twitter at Animated Phil.
And you guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Coney Waves. Make sure you subscribe to Primetime Poulton. Last night I dropped the first ever LaPod God's Figure Hunt episode. Phil and I, we went to the House of Fun in Barrington, New Jersey. Great toy store. Definitely check out the episode. And if you're in the New Jersey area, definitely check out the House of Fun.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to our next Fig Hunt. I'll have to find the autographed Jericho.
That's the goal for this. Phil Diaz, great show. Thank you, Phil, for hanging out with us. Make sure also check out US Assassin. 6 days left. I'm going to be on Phil Diaz's channel on Friday, 7 p.m. talking about the campaign. And Mike and I have a ton of appearances lined up. So, stay tuned on Twitter. That's where we'll drop all the links. Anyway, guys, thanks for joining us this week. And Phil and I will be back Sunday.
Probably Sunday night. I'll be... Yep. I'll hit you up what time around Sunday, but probably later Sunday night.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks again, everyone. Bye.